Breaking news. Now we know what the Dallas Mavericks are going to do with the number one pick. Will they trade it? Are they going to use it with Cooper Flag? Now we already know what they're going to do. We're going to get into this and what it means because there's a big domino effect from this decision around the NBA. I'm Trevor Lane. This is the Basketball Bulletin. Make sure you subscribe right here to the channel. About 70% of you out there right now not subscribed. Let's fix that. Hit that subscribe button. Joining me is Donnie Freeman. Donnie, people still asking, was it rigged?
I mean, I took the stance that, you know what, we're gonna watch it anyway, so whatever. I don't know. It's there's evidence to support that theory, but either way, I'm gonna watch it, and I don't really care personally. But I will say there was a lot of people that thought we were pretty salty about it, based on our reaction.
Really?
Yeah. On our previous video. I'm actually not salty. I don't know if you are, but they
I'm more from a Western from the fan of a Western Conference team. I'm more upset about the Spurs getting the number 2 pick than the Mavs getting number
under
1.
The radar, right? Like that, nobody's talking about that, but that's actually kind of crazy.
Because what it means is we're probably going to see, and we'll talk about it in a second here, we're going to see Cooper Flag wind up in the West. We're going to see Giannis wind up in the West because now the Spurs or the Rockets are going to trade for him, and I'm tired of it. Wemby winds up everybody keeps going west. Oh, Paul George went east. Big whoop, right? Paul George goes east. All right. Everybody else keeps going west, and it's an insane conference. But could the Mavs potentially trade that pick that they picked up? Could they be the team to get Giannis? Well, Tim McMahon says no. Says sources tell him that the Dallas Mavericks will select Cooper Flag and will not entertain the possibility of trading away the pick for a proven superstar. So decision done, already made. Mavs will not trade the number 1 pick. They are not going to get into the hunt for Giannis. What does that mean around the NBA? Because I think this changes a lot for the Giannis pursuit. It changes a lot for the trade market around the league. We got to talk about this. We'll get into it right after this. There's nothing like seeing a playoff game in person. That's why I'm thrilled to have SeatGeek as the sponsor of this video. With over 28 million downloads, SeatGeek is the number 1 rated ticketing app. There are over 70,000 events listed on SeatGeek, including concerts, sports, festivals, and more. Right now, you can get tickets to the MLB season and the NBA playoffs. And I love going to live events using SeatGeek. For me, it's about the value. SeatGeek has your back. Each ticket is rated on a scale of 1 to 10, so you know you're getting a good deal. So you look for the green dots. Green means good, red means bad. Plus, every ticket is backed by their buyer guarantee. I love that. Takes all of the worry out of buying tickets. And you know I came through for you guys. Use our code Bulletin10 for 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. That's 10% off any tickets with promo code Bulletin10. Make sure you click the link in the description to download the app and have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later. Again, big shout out to SeatGeek. Super thrilled to have them on as a sponsor for the Basketball Bulletin. All right, and again, you guys can check out the link for SeatGeek in the description down below. Donnie, is this the right decision for the Dallas Mavericks to say, nope, we're not going to go for a veteran star? We've got Anthony Davis, we've got Kyrie Irving, we've got an opportunity to win right now, but we are still going to take Cooper Flag and make him our future. Is this the correct decision for the Mavs?
Well, I think either way would have been the correct decision. Say they were able to theoretically pull off a trade for Giannis. I mean, I think that's fair too, right? Like either one is perfectly fine. That's why I thought that, for this was a win-win situation for them to be in. They're playing with house money at this point. Now, I think that if you take the approach of keeping Cooper, as it seems they're going to potentially do, you have the building block for the future, and you've got that guy that, fans can get invested in again for the long term, hopefully anyway, assuming something else like Luka doesn't happen again with the trade. But you have a guy that the fans can get invested in and get excited about for the long term. And I think that's valuable for a franchise to have, of course. But, Nico did say that he only really cares about a few years. They've got a few guys on this roster over 30. Kyrie, there was some question about him because of the injury, but AD's timeline is now. Now, the thing with Cooper, though, I think he could fit right now. He may not be able to give you what you would want offensively, but I think he's already ready defensively for sure.
For sure.
On this team. And that's exactly what they need anyway. So I think there's going to be a crunch with some of the other guys. Maybe there's some questions like PJ or Gafford.
Yeah.
But I think this is probably the right decision, but I think they could go either way.
Yeah, so I mean, when we talk about do I mind Cooper Flag going to the Mavs? No, my biggest complaint about it was just the optics around it, making it appear that it's rigged, right? I mean, that's what people said. Again, from a fan of a Western Conference team, it's San Antonio getting the 2 pick that was more of a concern for me. That said, look at this. I don't think you can go wrong here, especially because Nico Harrison, he's already said defense wins championships. That's going to be his belief. Well, Cooper Flag fits that clearly. But the domino effect of this, I think this makes Daniel Gafford, maybe PJ Washington, much more available for the Dallas Mavericks. I think they are now penciling in Cooper Flag as being a big part of the rotation with Anthony Davis, with Derek Lively, plus Cooper Flag. That is an insane defensive trio right there. I don't think they can do that, though, and keep Gafford and keep PJ Washington. I think at least one of those guys is gone. So that will be something to watch on the summer trade market. The Mavs saying, no, we're not trading the number 1 pick for, say, Giannis. Instead, we're going to keep it. I think that probably leads us to Daniel Gafford being out in Dallas, especially since he is due for an extension this summer, perhaps PJ Washington as well. So that's the immediate domino effect there. But what about the Mavs in terms of them effectively? I mean, I guess they could still make the phone call and talk Giannis trades, but I think effectively, if the number 1 pick's off the table, they're not going to beat out the offers from the other Texas teams, Houston and San Antonio, for Giannis, and other teams will certainly get into them. 29 teams are calling Milwaukee for Giannis. But does this now set us up for a Giannis trade to San Antonio or Houston if the Mavs are indeed not trading the number 1 pick for Giannis?
Yeah, I think that it's extremely likely Giannis is going to wind up in Texas. Seems like Dallas is potentially removing themselves from that equation.
Yeah.
So the other 2 teams, I think, are right at the forefront. I think they're the top of the odds too, right? That came out. Most likely destinations for him overall or something like that. But it just makes too much sense with both of these teams. They've got assets. They've got players that are ready to win now as well, depending on where you want to go. But ultimately, I think it just depends on Giannis and what he's going to look at these rosters and he's going to say, okay, well, I would like to go here because I think this gives me the best chance of winning. I think with that being the case, the best player on either team is Vic. So
sure,
I would like to go, if I'm Giannis, to San Antonio. But if I'm an opposing fan or a team or whatever, you don't want to see that because they're going to be ridiculous. But I think it's interesting that Dallas is taking this approach because I don't know if it was a smokescreen or not, but there was that report that they tried to get Giannis out of Milwaukee before they, went for AD afterwards.
Right. Yeah.
So there's interest there, and why wouldn't there be? Right. So
it's Giannis, of course.
Like that I think is pretty interesting for sure that they're taking that approach.
Yeah, exactly. Is that they could land somebody that could help them, in Giannis that could help them win a championship this year. However, I think that what we're seeing here is the Luka trade really resonate with Mavs ownership, right? Because now they've felt the pinch that the fans who have canceled their season tickets, right? They felt the anger from fans, the jersey sales that I'm sure dropped significantly, the ticket sales that dropped significantly. And so they're looking at this saying, God, this isn't fun. What if Nico his plan is a 2-year window, 3-year window, 4-year window? Okay, what's life after that going to look like? If like this is not good. This is not what we want. So you get Cooper Flag and you can say, we have a dude now to build around, even after AD's gone, even after Kyrie's gone. We can, and he fits in with the defensive scheme of what we're going to do right now, but he also gives us something into the future, which is ironically part of what the Lakers were thinking when they traded for Luka. Like, hey, this gives us a dude to build around post LeBron. Now the Mavs have their guy too. So I get why they wouldn't want to pass up on that opportunity of having a guy for the next 10 years instead of having a guy for the next 3 or 4. Now, would Giannis help them win a championship better than Cooper Flag would in the next couple of years? Absolutely. Giannis is a legend. He is a multi-time MVP. This dude is a Hall of Famer. He is great.
Champion DPOY.
Exactly. He's phenomenal.
Crazy.
But I get why the Mavs, and I don't know that they could flip the number 1 pick straight. Like other stuff would have to be.
Yeah, you need other stuff
to get Giannis. So I understand why the Mavs are taking this stance. I do think the domino effect, though, for the Western Conference is it means Cooper Flag and Giannis probably in the West, assuming this goes the way that we expect it to, with Giannis asking for a trade. And that means, Donnie, I'm looking at the West. If that's the case, and I believe that in the Pelicans is, I think they're a good, not great team that just got crushed by injuries this year. I think the potential is there in the West for next year for there to be just 2 teams that are not playoff caliber in the entire Western Conference.
Who are those 2 teams? Is that Utah and who?
Utah and Portland.
Okay. What about some of the ones on the fringe, like Sac?
Yeah, I think Sacramento can be, and I'm talking about playoff caliber. Like they have a realistic chance of making.
I don't know that they have that chance. That's why I'm asking.
You think Sacramento? I mean, they were a play-in team this past year, although it took the Suns and.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious about that. Like, what about Phoenix? Like,
I think Phoenix can. Phoenix has playoff level talent.
Yeah.
They were just a miserable team, but if you could turn Kevin Durant into a couple of defensive players,
yeah,
okay.
True.
Like you can get there. Like there's a reasonable case to be. I guess that's the bottom line. There's a reasonable case for these teams to be playoff teams.
Yeah.
And I think there's going to be 2 in the West next season, assuming, and if knock on wood, we can get a healthy season out of Zion. Oh man, this next season, we could see a Western Conference that's unlike anything we've ever seen. And that's what we were saying going into this past season. And next season, I think, could be even crazier.
Yeah, I mean, look at how condensed the win-losses are from 2 all the way through 8. That's
unreal.
That's just a few game difference. Somehow OKC ran off with it, but I was expecting all the teams to be relatively close. Like all of them were, except for OKC. Like that's crazy. We're already seeing it. So I'd expect much year to look a lot like that from 2 through 8, except maybe as a result, less than 50 wins for some of these teams that are getting through because it's just going to be hard.
We get the West will be cannibalizing itself to a degree because if you're in the West, you have to play all these other West teams and all of that. And by the way, that's part of why I talked about earlier today, expansion. That was another big topic. And these West teams, if it's Minnesota, Memphis, New Orleans, oh my God, they are going to fight. They're going to brawl over who gets to be the team that gets moved into the Eastern Conference whenever expansion hits. Because one of those teams is going to luck out.
It's automatic 60 wins for Minnesota.
Right?
Automatic.
Oh my God. Oh man. It's also why East teams will never vote. They will never vote to do away with conferences.
Exactly. Because the owners love that playoff revenue. So they get to sneak in with minimal competition for some of these guys towards the bottom. But ultimately back on the Coop thing. I think that either way is the right decision. You can't go wrong with either trading it for a superstar specifically. Don't trade it for pennies, Nico. Please don't. But sorry, AD. You're not pennies, AD. I guess that was a little bit of a
Let's
shot
be
there.
nice to AD and Max Christie.
I love AD. Don't do that. Actually, you know what? I'm curious. I wonder if ownership put their foot down on this. Like, Nico, you are not trading this pick.
It's like a teenager. They took the keys to the car away. He got grounded. I don't think he's even allowed to trade right now.
Yeah. To be fair, it was mixed reporting. It was like, oh, Nico kind of approached them, but like obviously they have to approve on it. He just sweet talked them, right? So I don't know. But Cooper I think is going to fit great alongside these guys, and you have your guy. Assuming that he turns out to be what all the hype is indicating he'll be. So that's great.
Very exciting really time. Lucky. And happy for Mavs fans for sure who are going through it, and now they get their next guy to look at. Again, the NBA. Now they have to deal with all these conspiracy theories forever, basically.
I saw
around this draft.
That Thanos meme where it's like, "Did you do it? Yes. What did it cost? Everything." And there was a picture of Luca on the everything. No. I was like, "Damn, that's brutal."
Oh no.
Well, it all works out, right? Hopefully.
All right, everybody. Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. What do you think about the Mavs already? Less than 24 hours later, they have made their decision. They're taking Cooper Flag. They will not trade the number 1 pick. Is that the right call for them? And what are the ramifications around the NBA? Does this lead to Giannis now definitively going to San Antonio or Houston? What does that mean for the Western Conference? Give us your thoughts in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe right here to the channel. Go check out SeatGeek using our link in the description below. Till next time, everybody. See ya and stay safe.